Kolo Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom to the house of David, 144,000, the Church of the Saints, men, women, and children that are part of the elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, or you black Latinos and Native Americans. Basically, you're pushing that vibe out. The Native Americans over there in North Dakota, they're fighting against Esau, polluting the waters over there in the pipelines. And basically what they're doing, Esau is taking, the Native Americans and throwing them into dog kennels, locking them up, but they're throwing them in dog kennels, man. That's how Esau feels about you, you Jakes, you Israelites. He don't give a shit about you or your loved ones. But this is just going to further a war between Gad and the tribes, man. Gad, Reuben, and the 12 tribes, but mainly Gad and Reuben. You also have Issachar over there too, and Asher over there too, the Inca Indians out there too, and the Aztecas out there backing them up. You also have police officers siding with Gad. You know? It goes to show you, man, there's going to be a big a revolution coming on. It's happening right now. You're going to have Native Americans, Gadites, and Reubenites, and the tribes that are cops, and they're going to say, man, fuck, this is wrong. And they're going to turn their guns towards Esau, man, start blasting Esau. There's even racism in the police force. And I know because I have friends that I grew up with that are police officers, and they tell me all the time I see them, there's mad racism in the police force. There's going to be class wars, race wars. All hell's going to break loose, man. We're going to play this. The Esau's putting Gad in dog kennels.
This is Dabu7. Some updates here to the situation between the Dakota Access Pipeline and these water protectors that are out here on the front lines, squaring off with, as you can see here, not only police, but military as well. They have stationed pretty much armored vehicles and concrete barricades on the main road here along the Cannonball River, stopping these individuals from going any further. Now, this is being labeled private land. This is land that was recently sold. But the problem is this, is that they see that the pipeline is crossing in an area and going to run to where if there's a breach, it can contaminate this waterway. And if so,
that's why the bisons appeared out of nowhere. That's a sign, because the bisons, the animals, are connected to the earth. Animals don't got it. Their spirit don't got to come back down on the earth in 2, 3, 4 generations. Their spirit comes right back on the earth when an animal dies, and they're connected to the earth. And the earth is telling them, "Yo, war is about to go down." The earth is praying for the Israelites to rule, for the righteous to rule. It tells you that in the scriptures, man. I'm gonna bring that up. Joel 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? The earth is controlled around by the elites. The Rothschild, the elites, man. They're destroying the earth. They're the ones destroying the earth, man. That's why the earth is in turmoil. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. See that? And the people are mourning, man. The earth is mourning. The animals are mourning. That's why the bisons appeared out of nowhere. That was a sign from the Great Spirit, Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, showing you're going to raise up Gad, man. Because the earth and the animals are connected, man. We was once connected to the earth, the time of Adam, but we lost that power. We had that telepathic power with the animals. And the animals, we lost that power, being in slavery under this devil, going into our sins and everything. We connected to our power, disconnected to our power, but now the Lord's bringing us back to that power. That's why the Spirit had us go into the telepathic powers that Solomon had with the animals and the beast and the creatures. See, the Gad knew it. Gad had that power. They had that power, man, on a low level, but they had it. And that was a sign, man. The bison coming, they even had the white buffalo. That's a sign of things to come. A new age, which the Mayans, tribe of Zebulon was talking about. Wasn't the end of the world. It was the beginning of a new age. End of an age, the beginning of a new one. The end of Esau's world, Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth.
oh, it's their only water source. Now, what if this was your only water source and someone was doing this? That's why these people are out here en masse, amongst other things. Others cite, sacred grounds, and it goes on and on. But, once again, how ironic. The government here, the military, siding with corporation against the American Indians And this has brought thousands of people out. Hundreds were arrested here recently. Those that were on the front line having the confrontation.
That's Esau's military, man. That's his foot soldiers. You know, that's his foot soldiers, man. We're gonna have a group of them, a small remnant of them, ain't gonna be down with the shits. That's why they gotta bring those NATO troops, those foreign troops, those Sputniks, and foreign soldiers that are gonna come down here. They ain't gonna give a fuck. And they hate Americans. They hate you. They really hate you, black Latino Americans. And they hate you heathens. They even hate their Edomite brethren over here. Those Russians, those British soldiers they're gonna bring over here. They look down on you Edomites over here. They hate you Edomites over here. That's why they got to bring in foreign troops to get the job done right.
And with police, they were pulling batons out, beating people down with them right there. They pulled out rubber bullets, were shooting people,
them.
hitting the horses. Horses were bleeding. They were using
horses were bleeding. You see, this devil just don't have no respect for nothing, man. He's the devil, shooting and beating up horses. That ain't nothing, man. They just hit him with a baton. Wait till they start bringing up them hollow tip bullets, them Gatling guns, like Esau did back then. They already brought out high-tech weaponry. Microwave weapons, make you feel like you're burning. Sound wave weapons.
Guns. They were using LRADs. They were shooting drones down out of the sky. They've declared it a no-fly zone over the area. And this is what's happening up here. Is these people are doing what they believe in protecting the land, their future. If this water was to get contaminated, what do you think would happen? What's happened every other time they tried to cover it up? It wouldn't matter what they say, what they try to do. It would be a done deal. It would be massive contamination coming downstream into their one and only water source. And that's how they see it. You know, in knowing this, with all the different land through here, it seems to me like they could have chosen a different path to try to cut through. And if they were truly this Army Corps of Engineers or whoever the hell they're sending out to evaluate where they're going to run these pipelines, they should know fully that they cannot be cutting across at a pinch point like this unless it's being done on purpose. Have you seen how much land this federal government has swallowed up across this country? Look at Nevada and other countries. It's sick. Then other places they go and they mark as a national sanctuary or UN sanctuary or a national park. But you're not free to roam there. They control it. Might as well be fed land because they set the rules and put them in motion. The hours, the limits, the permits. Certain states operate different.
All it's going to do is just piss off the tribes, man. First Chronicles 12:7 roused them up. And of the Gadites, which are Native Americans, they separate themselves unto David, into the hold, unto the wilderness, men of might, men of war, fit for the battle, and could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and were as swift as the roes upon the mountains. There were faces of lions, which is war paint. That's what the whole military, they get their tactics from. Guerrilla warfare, war paint, camouflage into the background, Tomahawk missile, the Apache helicopter. All they get that from the Native Americans, and Lord's going to put into the tribes to snap and get at Esau, man.
Then you have a couple commonwealths. But this is what they've done. They continue to do. And those that try to stand up against it, when was the last time you saw the military come out and back people that were out here trying to protect the land and water, anything like that? It's always about what? Just like this headline reads, it's always about the money, not the indigenous people. It's exactly what this article talks about. There's a frontline shot right there showing the line. And I have to say, there was a herd of wild bison that came down over the ridge, and one of the guys was on film. And this is Isha. He's a frontline soldier up there that's been keeping us informed with what's going on, and has given permission that if he goes live again, it can be shared. So if I catch them going live and can mirror it on the front lines, I'm going to do so. But he's up here keeping us updated, getting the word out. And thankfully, him and others that are up there doing it, and he's had his own battles up there just to get a good signal. Yesterday he was saying he had to be up on top of the ridge. He wasn't getting a good signal down in the valley. on the front lines too well at all. But we need to be kept in the loop here. And like I said, horses getting hit. And going back to this other article here, they state that they were putting them in what looked to be dog kennels last night.
Look at that. It was putting Native Americans, Gad, in dog kennels. And that's how Esau feels about you. They're your dogs.
And marking them with numbers. There's a guy right here. His arm has numbers written on it. They're throwing them in dog kennels. So,
Dog kennels.
I'm going to continue to update on this situation, what's going down up here. And like I said, shout outs to those on the front line, everyone that fights the good fight, getting this information out there. And if they do go live and I can mirror it, I will be sharing that. So, also make sure you're following me over on Twitter. I do a lot of updates over there on Twitter.
Hey, man. Most sides raising up the tribes. You tribes better wake the hell up, man. All hell's about to break loose. Lord's going to put that spirit into Gad to snap. Because that's biblical prophecy in Genesis 49. The U.S. cavalry shall overcome Gad, but he shall overcome at the last. So Gad's going to come out those reservations with their brethren, the Seminole Indians, and the Aztecs too, man. Issachar, all the tribes, man. So-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians too. He's shot and executed by these cops. The tribes are going to snap. The Lord's going to put the spirit into Gad to snap on these devils, man. That was one of the warrior tribes, Reuben, Gad, Manasseh. That's the times we're living in. Call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom to the house of David. Church of the Saints, 144,000 elect, men, women, and children. Shalom.